Your breakup was not a failure. It was a favor from the universe, from your future, from the version of you who's done settling. Hi, I'm Gabby Roberts, and welcome back to the Grow with Gabby podcast. Today, we're honing in on the ones who are done doing the same thing over and over and over again that's not creating results. This one is for the cycle breakers. If you've ever sat in the wreckage of your relationship and wondering, how the hell did I get here? This one's for you. But before we dive into it today, we're really going to get clear with knowing the truth here, that your breakup was the mirror to the truth that you deserve to see. Okay? But before we dive into it today, we have a few parts getting deeper with our attachment styles and what to do and how to navigate the relationships. Go ahead and hit the follow and subscribe button so you never miss another episode moving forward. All right, let's get into it. So let's talk about the real truth here. The fact that your breakup wasn't the betrayal, okay? Your avoidance was. And I know that may not be easy to hear, but you're not necessarily always grieving the loss of that person. Sometimes you're grieving the you that you lost in that version of love. Okay, so that relationship hit so hard and so fast because it wasn't always about them. It's about you. It's about the version of you that you feel like you just lost. You know, the version of you that dimmed your light and just was kind of a follower in whatever they were doing, maybe a people pleaser, the one who avoided conflict and was just kind of shallow and stayed out of the way. I've been there. I literally had a relationship where I looked myself in the mirror and was like, who are you? You're just a smaller version of him, and he's not even a great person, right? And sometimes that betrayal is because you convinced yourself, well, at least somebody loves me. At least I'm not alone, or at least I'm not, dealing with this awful thing. And you compare it to, being put in the hospital or something. You're like, well, at least we're not there. It's like, but those things still matter. Again, we talk a lot about on this podcast how your nervous system's always taking notes. And so again, it doesn't have to be this big grand betrayal, like they cheated on you or they hurt you physically in some way. Like truly, when you dim your light, when you stay small, when you convince yourself that, oh, this is fine, at least someone loves me, it just shows you over and over again that you're choosing to stay comfortable rather than find what really means something to you. So there's some hard truths I'm going to drop here, and take them with a grain of salt, because there's nothing wrong with you, but they didn't take those parts of you. No one can just take things from you. Unfortunately, you have to give them the permission to do that. You have to access your energy, your space, your boundaries, your body. Okay? So just know that you have to hand over that energy to them. And that's what you did. And that's okay. This is what we're doing here today, is we're learning and we're observing with love, not judgment, curiosity, rather than being harsh on ourselves here. You can't go back. You can't change anything at all. The only thing you can do is get really clear with what you want moving forward, and absolutely do not settle for anything less. So they didn't take these things from you. You gave it to them because you maybe learned along the way that, well, as long as I do everything they want to do, then they'll be calm. There'll be no chaos. I'll be okay. I'll be loved. I'll be enough. So you're abandoning yourself here. Okay. So now it's time to take that shit back, because you can and you absolutely will. And that should give you some hope to know that, okay, I handed my power away, but I can get it back. Now, hear me out. You didn't do anything wrong by giving your power away. Again, this could be something that you saw somebody else do growing up. This is what I watched my mother do over and over and over again. And it took me a long time to learn to not give my power to someone, to have all of that control. So let's learn a little bit of, well, okay, now I know I gave my power away. Well, why did I do that? Again, yes, it's conditioning. And it goes all with our attachment styles, which I talked a little bit about last week, but I wanted to get a little deeper with them today, because these attachment styles are really why you have them, what you tolerated, what you really needed in that moment, and then the lesson you can learn from this. Again, there's no going back, and there's no even fixing you. You're not broken, you're conditioned. Okay, so we are simply getting really clear with what is getting in the way of me growing. And sometimes it's the way that we're attached. Okay, so there's a couple different types. There's anxious attachment style, there's avoidant dismissive, there's avoidant fearful, and then there's the secure attachment style. So each attachment style comes with different things that we tolerate. So if you're like, oh yeah, I'm the type to be a huge people pleaser and I accept little breadcrumbs from people because I thought maybe if I love them enough, they'll stay, right? That's the things that you tolerate. You just accept things the way they are because you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to make any waves because what if they leave you, right? Anxious attachment styles are deeply tied to abandonment. So it's like, I'll do whatever you want, just please don't leave me. And that's really sad because that's not what you need. You need to honor your boundaries and love yourself for the things that you need in a relationship, not try to change the fundamentals of who you are to make someone else happy. Now, you can absolutely grow with your partner, and I think if you're growing, you're changing, but don't abandon who you are as a human being just so they'll stay. Okay, so that's anxious attachment. That's like what you tolerated in your relationship. And if you're sitting there going, oh my God, this is me again, we're not judging. We're just observing. We're being aware because there's no point to judge. You can't go back. You can't change it. All you can do is grow through what you're going through. Okay. So here's what you actually needed if you're the anxious attachment style type. Okay. You actually needed security. You need someone to rely on, someone who's going to be there for you and someone who chooses you without hesitation. Because even that little pause, we're like, why'd you pause? Are you okay? Like, oh my God, and our brain's already looking for 17 reasons why we need to run and hide or stay and fix it, right? It's sometimes there's both. Sometimes there's a combination of the attachment styles. So just know like what you actually need if you're an anxious attachment style is you just need security. You need someone who's got your back, someone who's in your corner, someone who's like, hey, I love you for all of your flaws and I'm not going anywhere. Okay. And if you're over here judging yourself, what if the flaws, quote unquote, that you have are your future partner's favorite things about you? But you didn't give them a chance to love that part of you because you're so afraid of being seen. And that's okay. It's scary as hell being seen. But when you know what you need, it's easier to ask your partner for that. Hey, these are my tendencies and this is what I need in the moment. They can say yes or no, and that's okay. You can then work through that conversation. And that's a whole different conversation. That's okay. But the lesson here is I deserve love that does not make me beg for it. Simply. And if you're out here begging for love, that's not love. If your nervous system is so dysregulated that you're so anxious all the time, maybe it's not love. Maybe you're deeply attached to this person. And does that mean you have to break up? No, absolutely not. Sometimes I even tap back into my own anxious attachment style. And I'm wondering if my husband is happy. And I'm like, well, shit, if he's not super happy and like things were in the beginning, when everything's all like woo and fun, and then I think sometimes he'll leave. And I'm like, well, no, like things are different now. We have a house and a mortgage and a business, and like we still connect in beautiful ways, but it's not this like childish running around drinking and just like being a dumb 20-year-old kid. Things change and things grow, but I'll never ever have to question if that man loves me. And that helps my anxious attachment style, when I am in those moments. Because I'll admit, most times I try to be as secure as I possibly can. We all do. That's the goal. But sometimes when you get triggered, it just sucks you right back. And it takes a moment to realize, okay, I'm safe. I'm okay. I am loved. That's the lesson here. Remember what you need in that moment. You need security. You need safety. You need people who are reliable. Okay. Not these wishy-washy people who aren't sure how they feel about you. Okay. So you cannot beg everyone for what you need. Again, that's not love. You shouldn't be begging for the basic things. Okay. So that's anxious attachment style. This is where I was for the longest time. And again, I still tap back in when I'm triggered and it happens. It's okay. But we can come back to the secure attachment style by taking a break, taking a couple deep breaths, talking yourself through it. There's many ways that we do this, but let's get through the rest of the list here. There's avoidant And dismissive attachment. This is a really hard one to deal with because you would just rather avoid it completely than have to deal with something that's really painful. So, what some people who are anxious and avoidant tolerate is like emotional unavailability. They are just not engaged at all. That's the fuck it, I don't need anyone anyway. I got me, and it's way easier to just got my back than to be vulnerable and open up, because that's scary. Because what if they hurt you, right? That's absolutely something to fear. And the people who you do open up to, you're giving them power to hurt you. You hope that they don't, but sometimes they do. So that's hard to deal with, okay? But again, we're observing here, we're not judging. The thing you actually need if you're the anxious dismissive attachment is to let yourself want the love and want that person and want people in your life. I know it's easier to run away and to hide and just be like, cool, bye, like I'm safer this way. But you're going to be alone if you continue to do that. And that's lonely. I would rather live and love and hurt and grieve than to ever just be fully alone all the time, because that shit sucks. Okay? So just really like let yourself trust someone. Let yourself realize that loving this person is not weak. Being vulnerable and soft and like a little puddle with the person you love and the people you care about is a superpower. That vulnerability, oh, it's beautiful. When I see people let down their walls, I'm like, there you are. There's the human inside. And it's not because you're broken that you try to run. It just means it's easier to avoid than to face that deeply uncomfortable heaven. I like to call it the familiar hell. Is like, yeah, okay, I'm out. It's way easier to just be like, bye, I'm out. But the uncomfortableness in the heaven, we all want to be in that heaven area. And I don't mean in a religious way, like our ideal life, our joy, our happiness, where we want to be. So you just have to realize, like, I'm not weak. This is what I actually need in the moment. And it's just to let myself want these things and be okay with wanting them. Okay. So you can tell yourself a lesson, an affirmation, something to remind yourself. This can be a little mantra that you say every single day if you'd like, is I can be independent and intimate. Both. You don't have to choose one or the other. And that's where that your brain kind of pops in. It does what it does. It's trying to protect you. And it's like, run. You've been hurt before. Someone's not going to help you. You're going to be alone. All these things. And it's scary. And so your body's like, heard, you're right, run. But your heart knows what you want. And it just wants to be loved. And it wants to be taken care of. And that's okay, which is similar to the anxious attachment. All these attachments, there's a need or a want that's not being fulfilled. And that's what we need. And that's why we're going through them today. So your little lesson, your affirmation, your mantra is, I can be independent and intimate. Because you absolutely can. You do not have to choose one or the other. It may be uncomfortable while you're figuring it out, but you can do it. It takes time, but you got this. Okay? So we have dismissive, the avoidant dismissive, but we have the avoidant fearful is next. So there's a difference between being terrified of what's going to happen and being like, oh no, hot and cold behavior because I don't know what's going to happen here. Like, do they like me? Do they not like me? Do they love me? Do they want to hurt me? These terrible, suffocating, paralyzing what ifs. That's the fearful, right? So there's a difference between just being emotionally shut off completely and then the hot and the cold. Okay. So just there's a couple differences here to go through. So if you feel like, oh, that's me, I'm totally the hot and cold. Like I want them, but like, what if they hurt me? And like, it's just easier to run and hide. That's okay. Again, we're observing. I'm going to tell you each time because you're going to sit here and your brain's going, oh my God, there's something wrong with me, or I need to fix it. Nope. We're observing. That's the first step to anything, is awareness. You don't know what you can fix if you don't know that you're doing it, right? Or how these people tend to act. Okay. So for the thing that you needed here is what really was for the fearful person is consistency. You really needed someone who proves that they're safe over and over and over again. So there's no like, okay, well, they're loving me today, but that could flip tomorrow, right? Because that's a lot of the fearful people come from narcissistic abuse. So it's just like you don't trust the good times, and it's like the bad kind of takes over and it reminds you of a lot of these things. And a lot of people with attachment styles have PTSD or CPTSD that reminds them of these many, many situations throughout their life that they haven't been loved. They haven't been shown consistency or safety or love or anything. So they're like, well, this is foreign. And the brain and the nervous system don't like foreign things. They don't like new things. They like predictability. They like um, familiarity, right? So when you are fearful and you're like ready to run, like, I love this person, I care about them, but like, what if they hurt me? You just have to pause and realize what you need, which is consistency. You need someone to prove that they can be safe. So the lesson here is, okay, the mantra, the thing you can say to yourself over and over again until it starts to feel real, the body starts to soften, is my fear isn't intuition. It's a wound. Okay, there's a difference between fearful anxiety and the intuition. The intuition is calm. It's this, I can't explain it, but it's just like, I just know, right? But fear disrupts the nervous system. Fear raises the heart rate. Fear gets you sweating. Your palms are sweating. Your arms are sweating. You're like, oh fuck, oh my God, like can't breathe. That's not intuition. Intuition is calm. Again, it doesn't disrupt the nervous system like that. So it's just a wound. When you feel something spike, that's a wound. There's trauma responses, and your trauma response is to run. It's to literally run, and that's okay. So you have to just know where you're at before you can learn or where you want to go, which leads us to the next part, okay? Which is the secure attachment style. This is where we want to be. This is the goal. This is the, I can make this work, the growth mindset, just the like, I can roll with it. Let's, like, I'm cool. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm calm. I'm centered. I'm not triggered. I'm chilling. Right. So it's really like understanding what you need in that moment is to trust that your discomfort is not going to stop you from working through what's going on. So you're like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable, but like, let's talk about it. Let's literally get to the bottom of this so we can be on the same page. Because sometimes people fight each other when really they should be fighting the problem at hand. It's like, it's not us. Why are we fighting? We should be fighting this problem that's going on. But sometimes when we have the anxious attachment style, we're like, oh God, I don't want to bring it up because like, what if they leave me? Or they're like, yeah, that's a good point, I should leave you. And then like, oh my God, and then they leave me, right? That's the anxious attachment. Then you got like the fearful, the dismissive, like there's different parts of you that need different things, especially when you are working through having a relationship and having a hard conversation. So when you notice that you're tapping into some of those anxious or fearful or dismissive parts, you're like, hold on. This is where we love to just pause. Me and my husband, we do it all the time. We have like a code word. It used to be Hakuna Matata, but when I got angry or sad, I like couldn't say that word. And it just like, it felt stupid in the moment. I know that's the point, but it's supposed to be a word that makes you like kind of like pattern interrupt. Like, okay, gotcha. And it felt like too silly. So we just use a word that is very similar to things that I like. Cause most of the time, I won't lie, like my husband's a very secure person. There's not a lot that brings him into the anxious attachment. I mean, it happens every now and again, but it's usually me that needs that moment to just like breathe and tell myself it's going to be okay, especially in those anxious attachments. Any of them really. I mean, I can relate deeply with the anxious part, but I've been the fearful, I've been the dismissive, I've deeply been the dismissive, all of those things. So it's just, sometimes we just have to realize like we got to say our little code word, take a pause. Now it's peaches because I know that word and I can giggle when I say it. And it's just like, okay, I know I need a moment to just like be and just breathe and come back to my secure attachment style so I can have a conversation. So things I like to tell myself when I am in this style, and what you can too, is just because I can fix it doesn't mean I should. And this is a huge part to remind yourself, because yes, you want to fix it. Yes, it's uncomfortable to have any kind of argument or disagreement or just uncomfortable banter, but think about it. Hard conversations in your relationship are not meant to break you up. They're meant to bring you closer. And yes, it can absolutely feel like you're being chased by a lion. And then afterwards, it feels like you just got hit by a dump truck. But it's going to bring you closer together because you see that person for who they are. They're not a broken human being. They're just hurting in this moment because they're not sure how to get across what they want to say. And they have needs like each of these attachment styles. So you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. It's okay to realize that you can fix it, but we got to just chill and go with the flow. And if it's uncomfortable, that's okay. These hard conversations, again, are not meant to break you up. They're meant to bring you together. Because again, like the love and the respect you feel after your person just opened up like that. I don't know about y'all, but that touches my soul. I'm like, wow, this person cares enough to realize that he could fix it, but they're not going to. They're going to sit there and they're going to speak their truth, and I get to hear their truth and they get to hear mine. Like, that is so beautiful. That should bring you closer together. If it doesn't, like, okay, then maybe it's not love. Maybe this is something like attachment, deep attachment. This could be a trauma bond. This could be lust. This could be a lot of different things. And sometimes it could be love, but right person, wrong time, right time, wrong person. Like, there's so many things that could go into this. But more than anything, with each of these attachment styles, you just got to know, this is the way I function, this is what I need, and these are some mantras I need in the moment. Okay? So, a couple little recap here is the attachment styles you have come from the way that you were conditioned. So they're nothing to do with you and you're doing it wrong or whatever. You just need to learn about them, learn about what you need, and then give yourself a little mantra to help you work through them in the moment, because these can be very difficult to find out. Sometimes if you have a really strong inner critic, then when you find out you have an attachment style that's not secure, you might think that there's something wrong with you. You might think that you're not a good partner or you're a bad person. But again, nope, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not perfect. No one is. Okay, we all have our flaws. And if you think every single human being doesn't have their own attachment style, love language, communication style, you're wrong. And this is you finding yours. So you can grow with yourself first and with the person that you love. Could be a partner, could be a friend, could be a family, could be your business partner, could be coworkers, could be the people, anyone around you. Everyone has their attachment style and everyone gets triggered, and everyone will tap back in from the secure into those other attachment styles because they're human. Okay. So just know that you can work through these and you can work towards that attachment style that's secure every day, because that's what you deserve. That's what your partner deserves. That's what the people around you deserve. And when you can have a good communication style as well, that is going to work wonders on your life, on your relationship, on your business even. This can make you so much money, learning about your attachment styles and the way that you communicate and what you need in the moment. Like, imagine you getting told something in your business to go get this work done, and you can't communicate how you feel, so you just say nothing, and then they literally give the promotion to like somebody else. Like, you just lost so much money because you didn't speak up, because you were afraid that they'd leave you or fire you or not think that the idea was good. Like, so just think, observe, in what way is this affecting my life, in my relationships, in my business, in my income, all the things. There can be attachments to money, to people, to like spaces, to, I could go on for days, but you get the point. Okay. So the real heartbreak here is not the fact that they left. It's the fact that you forgot that you were enough all along without them. Like, let me just say that again, because I want you to hear it again. Like, close your eyes. The real heartbreak here is not the fact that they left. It's the fact that you forgot that you didn't need them the whole time. All the validation that you're looking for other people, you can bring to yourself. And that may be a little lonely at first, being like, okay, well, I want other people, and that's okay. You can want other people. You can go hang out with other people, but you don't need them. Okay? So the alone time that you feel isn't necessarily loneliness. I mean, yeah, you might feel lonely at times, but this is your rebirth, my friend. This is your chance to figure out who you are and what you want and what you truly want to attract in your life, which should be exciting. Like, yeah, it sucks at times being lonely, but wouldn't you rather be a little lonely than ever settle for less than you deserve of people who aren't meeting you where you're at? Like, this is the first time, this could be the first time in your life that you've ever really truly been alone in years. And that is exciting. Like, what? You could choose to be afraid of this time, but this is a time for you to stop chasing, to stop begging, to stop shrinking yourself to try to fit in with other people's version of who you should be. You get to own who you are, own your voice. That noise is gone. The distractions are gone. the obligations, dare I say it. Yeah, being with the wrong person and doing things for them and knowing they're not going to reciprocate that love tends to feel like an obligation after a while. So for the first time, it's gone. You are free. Like, seriously, sit with that for a second. I did. When I dated people for years and years and years, you could literally go back and like track my years based on the guys that I dated. Because I dated so many people because I was afraid to be alone. But when I was alone, yes, absolutely, there was moments of loneliness. But I was sitting there being like, man, I'm alone, but no one is here stressing me out. No one is here telling me I'm not doing enough. No one is here telling me that my best efforts are not good enough for them. No one is here gaslighting me or manipulating me or treating me with not love and respect. Like, that's amazing. And so you just kind of have to flip it for a second. Because, like, again, for the first time, you can hear your own voice, the voice that you've been ignoring for years because you had someone else just telling you all the things and you didn't have that independent because you were attached to that person because you thought it was love. It's not even your fault. You're literally just doing what you think is right. And that's okay. But this loneliness right here, right now, is not because you are alone. You have so much more love and support than you think, even if it's from your future self or your spirit guides or whoever it is, or God or the universe or whoever hears that's got your back, whatever you believe in. So this is how to like, this is your time. And we're going to talk about how to use this time wisely to finally see the truth in what's going on here. And I'm not saying go leave your partner if you're feeling like you're attached to this person. You can absolutely work on your attachment styles with your partner if they're willing to communicate. But it's not like I'm going to wait around and try to change everything I can so then until they're ready. You know, you have to go manifest that partner and become that partner to be the best version of you that you can be for somebody else. So ask yourself, who the fuck was I when I was with them that I'm not anymore? Was I the peacekeeper? Was I the people pleaser? Was I the person who never ever asked for what they wanted and was just like, sure, you can pick the restaurant, sure, we can go here, sure, we can do this, when really that little voice in your inside was like, I want blank, blank, and blank. But did you ever say it? No. So who the fuck was I being if not the me that I want to be? And you get to decide who you want to be now moving forward. Like, truly. And you can just accept that that wasn't love. That was survival mode. Okay, I kept the peace and I told him again, pick the restaurant, pick my outfit, tell me what to do. I will do anything you want. Because I was surviving. I didn't want them to leave me or hurt me or it not work out. Right? And that makes sense. You're human. But ask yourself now, what did I tolerate that I swear that I never would? For me, I tolerated being gaslit and manipulated. I even tolerated people doing really awful things to my body because I was afraid to say no, because if I didn't please them in this way, what if they leave me? What if they think I'm not good enough? Right? Like, what are the red flags that you ignored? Like, some of us, myself included, with my ex-husband, I was wearing some rose-colored glasses, my friend. Like, oh, they were so red. There were so many red flags, but I ignored them because I was the anxious attachment, the fearful attachment as well. I had a little bit of a combo between the both of them. I didn't want them to leave me. So I did whatever the fuck they wanted me to. And I abandoned myself in the process. So ask yourself here, where did I let the disrespect go on for far too long? Where did I make excuses for them? Where did I feel uncomfortable and I convinced myself that, no, that's not your intuition. You're just being judgy, right? Like, where were you genuinely betrayed? Asking them to do some basic things. Where were they just telling you these lies and false promises and they never owned up for any of that? Where did they gaslight you into thinking that you were the problem? There's so many more examples. I mean, where was your gut in all of this? Why did I tolerate ignoring that gut feeling that maybe something's off with them? Where did I ignore my friends saying, hey, I don't think he's for you, right? Like, I can go on, but I just want you to ask yourself, truly, what the fuck was I doing? What was I tolerating? And what did I actually want? Those days that they said, okay, what restaurants do you want to go to? And you pick something random because you knew that they wanted to go there, or that they were hinting at this restaurant. You were like, fuck it, it's not worth the fight. Sure, we can go there. Or the thing that you wanted to bring up, but you were so scared. What was it? Right? So I'm talking like the things that you actually wanted, not the things that you thought you wanted in that moment. Like, I wanted to be freaking heard and seen. I wanted to make my own plans with my own friends and not have you freaking out if we were going to break up. I wanted you to be a partner. I wanted you to communicate with me and want to hang out with me. I wanted you to text me back instead of being forced to text back, or just, oh, that's just how I am, or I'm a bad texter. Like, I wanted you to see me. What did you, the raw, the real, the unfiltered, the non-people pleasing version of you want? Even if it felt like, oh, that's too much, I couldn't dare want that thing. What was it? Was it someone who completely took care of you fully so you could be a stay-at-home spouse? Was it someone who supported your dreams? Was it someone who wanted their partner to travel with them and be kind to their friends? I mean, I'm listing things that are like really basic things, but when you're in a relationship and you're asking for some of these basic things and they're making you feel so crazy, it's because you were giving them a version of who they wanted to see. And now I'm asking you, the real version of you, what did you want? What did you tolerate? And what are you no longer going to tolerate when you are moving to the next relationship? Like, for me, I wrote down a list of 40 things that I was like, non-negotiables. These are things I absolutely need in my partner. And yeah, did I seem picky in the moment? Did I seem greedy? Did I seem selfish? Did I seem ridiculous? Yes. Did I now, few years later, marry the love of my life who checks every box on that list? Also, yes. So I had to get clear with myself of what the hell do I want? Like, truly want, not what I'm supposed to want, not what my parents say you should want, not what your friends want, not what your family wants. You. Think about it. Okay. Now, let's get back a little bit to the loneliness. Because when I say, what do you want? Sometimes we think, well, I just don't want to be alone. I don't want to feel this lonely. And again, that's something you got to sit with, because wouldn't you rather be a little lonely for now and truly manifest the love that you deserve than ever settle for less? Because most times the answer is yes, but when you're in it, sometimes it's like, no, no, I can't accept that answer. I just want to go on and be with somebody else. And that's okay. I did the same thing. For a while, I couldn't accept that grief and that loneliness. I wanted to distract myself. I wanted to be loved. And I thought if I just kept dating more and more people, someone would finally fit. Nope. It was only when I stopped dating those people and realized, what do I want? And I wrote it all down and I was crystal clear and I looked at that list every day. That's when I met the love of my life. So this grief that you're feeling, this grief isn't just sadness for losing a connection with somebody. This is rage. I mean, pure rage. Sacred rage. Very needed rage. But this is rage for them, for you, for the world, for the relationship that you had that didn't work out. It's enough to piss anybody off, to pour your heart into a relationship that didn't work out. And that's okay. It's rage. It's a sense of relief, even, that, you know what? I don't have to pretend anymore. I don't have to be any version other than who the fuck I am right here, right now. And that is its own breath of fresh air, right? It's clarity, realizing it. Okay, this is what I want. This is what I tolerated. This is what I will never tolerate again. Because remember, that sacred rage is very helpful. You have to realize that sometimes we sweep that rage under the rug because we've met something else. We met someone new and it's so exciting and it's fine. I can tolerate these things. Nope. We don't remember those nights that we were crying ourselves to sleep, being like, this isn't it. I literally had a video of myself sobbing and looking dead in the camera and was like, remember this. Remember, this is how he makes you feel every fucking time you go back. So this is clarity. in this grief, in this sadness, in this loneliness. You're learning what you want, what you're willing to tolerate, and you're going to go get that shit. Because you know what? You're going to go get that shit with boundaries, or you're going to attract someone amazing with you, to you. They're going to respect your boundaries and they're going to love you the way that you deserve. But it all starts with you. And this pain, this loneliness, this how you're feeling, it's not here to destroy you. It is here to teach you valuable lessons. I hear all the time when people go through breakups, I just want to forget everything. I just want to forget. I just want to forget. And it's like, why? You want to forget the valuable lessons that you learned here? The red flags, the what I'm willing to tolerate, the love that you had when you are going to be with somebody new. You keep those things that happened in the back of your mind because you're like, hey, I've been here before and I wasn't respected. And now I need to realize that I either need to leave this person or set very clear boundaries that this is not how I'm going to be treated. Right? And you need those things. But if you forgot them, if they were wiped from your mind, how is that going to help you? It's not. So it's not here to destroy you. It's simply here to remind you of the truth of what you embraced, is that this is not what I want here. And I'm willing to wait for something and work towards something that isn't aligned with what I want, even if it's all 40 of those boxes or 50, 60, 100 boxes. Obviously, they don't have to be too picky, like has brown hair, but like, hey, if that's what you want and you want someone with brown hair, like, and you are willing to wait for someone with brown hair, do it. You get to love yourself now through the loneliness, through the grief, through it all. And that is freaking beautiful. It's not sad. I mean, a little portion of it, sure, in the beginning, because it's really new and it's scary and you're like, what do I do now? But you now get to choose love. And that is so freaking powerful. And you get to decide what it looks and feels like. Same with happiness, same with joy, same with failure, same with pain. You get to decide those things. You can't decide when it happens to you or if it happens. It's going to. But you get to decide moving forward what you do with this loneliness. Because this loneliness, this pain, this grief is a gift. You just can't see it now. But in time, you will. And if you're sitting there like, no, I won't, come back to this video in a few months, in a few years. I'll be here doing the same thing, encouraging you to find the love within yourself and not settle for anything other than the love that you deserve. This is something I'm going really deep in with my masterclass this weekend, is we're not settling. How to stop settling, how to know that you're settling, how to find real, true love, and how to attract that love that you deserve. We've got 90 minutes, get to show up, go through some journaling prompts. We have some fun things at the end, so stay tuned. But yeah, this is something we talk about, is like not settling any longer. And I'll say it again and again and again. If settling means losing who you are, you shouldn't settle. You should only settle when you feel calm and loved and appreciated and aligned. Okay? So if you want to join the masterclass, go over to my Instagram. It's the link in my bio, gabbyroberts.coach. All right. So let's go on to part 3 here. Let's wrap it up. How on earth do we turn this heartbreak into non-negotiables? Okay. Step 1, you got to feel it all. You got to get through the ickiness of it, because you won't even hear me and hear these tools and hear these tips and hear the things that have absolutely worked for me, for my clients, for many, many people, if you're not getting it all out first. Embrace this grief. Embrace the suck. There's nothing you can do in that moment to erase the pain. Even if you got back with them, you'd still be healing from the fact that they broke up with you. And you'd still be working through the reason they broke up with you and what boundaries you need and they need moving forward. So you're still going to heal. You're still going to feel it. And that's really the first step into healing anything, is you feel it. You feel all of it, because the only way out is through. Okay. So cry, scream in a pillow, write that shit down, burn it, burn all their stuff if you want to. Just kidding. I mean, if you want to. I've burned notebooks. I've burned t-shirts. I mean, if they asked for them back, like, sure, come get your shit. But if they just leave some stuff around that I don't want your negative energy hanging around, a fire is a good way to cleanse the energy off of that thing. So you're not crazy if you burn their shit. Just don't do it in the front yard and be safe, obviously. So for real though, write it down. tell this before you burn it. Like, write all the ickiness, even if it's a really hateful, like, icky letter about how much you hate that they did that to you and how could you and blah 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 and fuck you and how dare you. Like, truly, it can be really hateful, because you know what, that's not probably how you feel, actually. That's probably the protection part, the angry part of you that's coming up, because the sad part of you is just devastated, and it's like, no worries, little bro, I got you. And it's like, all right, huh, because that's what it does. That's what the angry part of you does. You're allowed to say that you're so fucking pissed. You're allowed to say, fuck you for doing that to me. You're allowed to miss them. You're allowed to say, I miss you so much. It hurts, but fuck you at the same time. You're allowed to say, I don't even know who I am without you. You're allowed to say, why on earth did you do these things? You're allowed to express every bit of it, the confusion, the anger, the grief, the rage, all of it. Because once you get that shit out, guess what's left? What's actually there, which is usually grief and sadness. There's just other parts that step in because it doesn't want you to be hurt anymore. So feel it, because that's the only way through. Or I'm sorry, it's the only way out is through. I'm telling you, if there was another way, I would have found it. Like, I promise you that. I'm very confident about that. But it's not. And every time I get through it, it's because I felt all of it, all the ickiness. And you know what? Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes days. Sometimes it takes weeks to really get all of it out. But every time I bounce back. And people ask me, Gabby, how are you so happy after all of the shit you've been through? And I'm like, dude, because I feel it. I feel all of it so deeply. And it takes me time. And I take that time and I honor that time and I get through it because that's what I need. So you're simply sitting here going, okay, if I need to turn this heartbreak into power, what do I need to do first? Step 1, feel that shit. Feel every bit of it, okay? Step 2, create your never again and your hell yeah list. So this is like your boundaries, like never again will I accept this. And make it really sexy. Like, I will never date someone who blank. And like write that thing down. And like, for example, I'll never date someone who makes me feel like an option. I'll never date someone who is disrespectful to me in public. Or I'll never date someone who doesn't respect or love my family. I'll never date someone who isn't kind and loving. I'll never date someone who gaslights me. I'll never date someone who manipulates me or twists my words. I will never date someone who can't communicate his needs without screaming or yelling. I'll never date someone who's not willing to have the hard conversations. I'm not willing, there's so many things you could write on that list. And this isn't about being bitter or angry or hateful. This is about the fucking non-negotiables, the line in the sand that you have had crossed so many times that you realize I will never have cross again. Okay? This is, again, just has nothing to do with bitterness and everything to do with self-respect in play, in action. You're literally being like, this is what I want. This is what I will not tolerate. Absolutely. Nope. Hard stop. Hell no. There's some things that you can tolerate. Like, okay, what if he yells once? Okay, cool. What if he mocks me once? Okay, well, he's a human. He's going to make mistakes. There's a difference between making mistakes and patterns. Okay, so I will not date someone who continuously does the same thing over and over again after we've had a conversation, right? You can have those non-negotiables and then move on to the hell yeses. Like, I deserve a partner who shows up consistently. I deserve a partner who is kind and apologizes when he does things that maybe hurt me. I deserve a partner who's going to grow with me. I deserve a partner who makes me feel seen and heard and loved and wanted. I deserve a partner who respects my body and my boundaries and my family and my friends and my dog. Like, get really clear with yourself and have that list every single day. Look at it every single day. Like, you can literally say it out loud every single day and make that manifest what you want. Because those hell yeses are things that you deserve. I don't care who gaslit you into thinking that you don't deserve those things. Fuck those people. You do deserve the good and love and kindness that you give to everyone else. Okay? So step 3 is rebuilding your entire life around you, not their ghost. Okay? What do I want? Like what we talked about a minute ago? What am I willing to tolerate? What do I need in the moment? What does my attachment style need? If I'm an anxious attachment style, it sounds like I need safety and love and reassurance. And if there's no one to give me that, you can give it to yourself, because you don't always need closure from the person who hurt you. I know it sounds odd, but you can give that closure to yourself. So simply ask yourself a few questions here. 1, what did you love doing before we became a we? Like maybe you love to play an instrument or go for walks or have some alone time with yourself, like little self-care dates with your friends or hung out with your family more. What are the things you'd like to get back to, right? Write it down, reclaim it. What did they steal from me because I accidentally gave it away? Okay? And own that shit and take it back. Okay? What did you hate doing before you did it for them? What did you absolutely hate it? Is like the thing that you just did it for them because you were like, fuck it, fine. I guess it's fine because I love them. But you really didn't like doing those things. Maybe it's like, I don't know, cleaning 24/7. You're like, I did not used to clean 24/7. I did not used to make all of the decisions 24/7. I did not, I don't know, think of stuff. Think of some things. I can't think of some things off the top of my head right now, but there's some things you hated doing that you do for them because you love them. And there's a difference between doing something for someone because you love them and taking on a role all the time. It's like, hold on, I didn't sign up for this. I'm your lover, not your caretaker. Okay? So, who were you before you met them? Simply, who was I? And if you're like, oh, I don't even know if I can get back to that person, noted, fair, fine, people change. But who do you want to be now? That's powerful, because you get to decide that and welcome that version of you into your life and become that version of you, right? We're writing down these list of things that we want in another person, but guess what I did? Every day I looked at that list, I said, how can I become some of the things on this list? Because if I want that in a partner, I'm sure there's some of these things that are desirable for them too. And I became a lot of that list. Some things didn't apply to me, but the things that did, I definitely applied, and that felt so good, because I was like, dang, like I'm becoming a better person. And guess what? Good people attract very good people, because you have high vibrations. Low, shitty people with low vibrations don't attract very good people. They attract the things that they are used to, the things that they're familiar, right? So let's get into a little bit of more of a couple hard truths that might pop some bubbles, and that's okay. Please take this with a grain of salt. Then we're going to do some journaling prompts, and then I'll let you go. So, you needed this breakup. That's the first hard truth I'm going to tell you. You did. You needed it. And I know you're going to be like, oh my God. And some of you people may even turn this podcast off because they're like, what the hell does she know? And that's okay. You might come back someday and be like, oh my God, she was right. And that's okay. It's not about me being right now. It's about me seeing the patterns in my clients, in my life, in my relationships, and the people around me. So I can help you bridge the gap of realizing what you actually need. And you needed this breakup, because it's not that you are unlovable or that you did anything wrong. It's just that you were being loved in a way that wasn't true to you. And I ask people all the time, how much longer can you keep going like this? And they're like, well, as long as I'm being loved for the rest of my life. So that's the thing. Like, you're choosing to stay with someone you know you're not happy with because you're too afraid to go be uncomfortable in the loneliness and the grief of it all to find what you really want, which is crazy. And that's okay. But the universe, life, God, whoever you believe in, your higher power, the spirit team, whatever, will poke you, and they'll do things. And there's little red flags that you ignored that I was talking about before. And they go, and they make sure your partner doesn't validate you and doesn't clean up after themselves, I don't know, or treats you like shit or says a disrespectful thing. And what do? You forgive them. You tolerate it. And then the universe goes, damn, this partner is not the right form. Okay, let me try again. And it pokes you a little harder this time, kind of give you a little shove. And the partner not only disrespects you this time, but disrespects your family and flirts with somebody else, right? Like they're borderline some things that aren't cool, some things that are on that line of, I'm not tolerating that. But you don't break up with them. You stay with them. You continue to be with them. You tolerate it. And then guess what happens? The universe goes, damn, they're still not listening. Okay, heard. wham, and they hit you so hard, like a slap in the face, and you find out your partner cheated on you and you gotta break up, right? And it's awful and it's horrible. And is it because you're not lovable? No. Is it because you ignored the signs that you saw before? Maybe. Okay. This is your chance to realize, okay, holy shit, this had to happen because yes, I'm sad. Yes, I'm lonely. Yes, I'm grieving. But now I know, holy shit, okay, this person may not have actually been right for me the whole time. And oh my God, now that we broke up, there was so many red flags and I didn't see it and I didn't notice it. And oh my God, eventually I'm so thankful this person did that because it allowed me to see the truth that I was letting them love me in a way that was not my truth. It wasn't the way I needed to be loved. So this is your chance, even though it hurts, even though it sucks. This is your chance to stop abandoning yourself. This is your chance to stop shrinking to keep the peace. This is your chance to stop pretending that you are someone that you're not. You get to be loved fully and wholly as the version you are now. Okay? So you have to realize that this is not a burden. This is not a bad thing. Yes, breakups suck. And if it's for a reason that you guys can fix, I hope you get back together. But if it's for something that isn't fixable, you have to realize that you're going to bring the closure to yourself and that this needed to happen for a reason. And the right people will always, always stay in your life. They won't leave. They don't have a reason to leave. And people don't just up and leave the people they truly love. People up and leave the ones that they were using. So the wrong ones leave. And that is a fucking gift. Because you get to sit there and realize, oh my gosh, I could have married this person. I could have spent all this time with this person. And if you married them, that's okay. Divorce is here for a reason. Fuck what everyone else says. You could have stayed and lost who you are long term. I've met people who literally did not know what they liked, didn't know who they were, didn't know what they were. They were like, I don't even know what I like. I don't know what I want. I don't know. When I asked them, who are you? What do you want? They cried and said, I don't know. Because they lost themselves in their relationship. They stayed for so long. They pretended for so long that now they look in the mirror and they go, who the hell are you? I don't know. I don't even recognize you. And that breaks my heart. So allow yourself to sit with this episode today and really journal through it. I'm going to give you some prompts here in a second, but learn about your attachment style, learn about what you tolerated, learn about what you want, learn about what you need, and be willing to get uncomfortable and stay uncomfortable until you got those things, because you deserve it. You deserve every bit of the love that you give to other people. Okay? So here's a couple journal prompts. Got 4. Write them down, pause this, come back to it, think on it, rewrite it, come back and do this journaling in a year from now and see what your answers change. But ponder this and don't judge yourself. Please, if you took anything from this, is that we are learning to be aware, not judgmental. Oftentimes we're like, yeah, I do that thing. Damn it, why do I do that thing? Bad, bad, bad. But it's like, no, we're not bad for doing the thing. Again, we're conditioned. We're not broken. So journal prompt number 1. What did this relationship teach me about what I don't want? And be brutally honest here. We're not judging. We're just observing. We're going, oh, okay, noted. Now we're going to change it for next time. We're going to make a list. We're going to have my non-negotiables, my hell yeahs. Okay. Number 2, what is one non-negotiable I've been ignoring and why? Your partner refuses to open up, will not talk about anything. That's a non-negotiable. You're not willing to speak and communicate with me and grow with me. I'm out. I am gone. Right? That may not be your non-negotiable, and that's okay. Figure out what works for you. That was a big one for me. You got to grow with me. And my partner does that. He grows with me so much. He teaches me to grow, and I look up to him a lot because he's in his secure attachment more times than me, and I'm honored to learn from him. So just, what is the one non-negotiable that you've been ignoring, and why? No lies here. Don't be honest with yourself. Why have you been ignoring it? And write it down. Okay. 3, if I knew I'd never see them again, what would I finally give myself permission to want? And don't hold back. This could be something that you would never ask for when you're with them, but you are. You're here. You're not with them. They're gone. This is your chance. Write it down. Figure it out. You got this. Okay. And lastly, number 4, which attachment style do I relate most to? What's one way I can start shifting into the secure attachment style today? Okay. So if you're anxious, if you're fearful, if you're dismissive, if you're avoidant, that's okay. But observe, write it down, and start learning ways to step into the secure attachment. Okay. That's what I got for you guys today. If you loved this episode, if this lit a fire under you, please share it with someone, because that is the only way that this podcast grows. There's no fancy marketing team or anything like that. It's just you guys sharing, leaving reviews, and letting me know, because I would love to reach out to you and just say thank you for listening to the show and give you a chance to reflect on some of those journal prompts. I'd love to hear what your attachment style is and your game plan for moving more into the secure attachment style. So take a screenshot of this episode or tag me in it on your story on Instagram at gabbyroberts.coach and just tell me what's your one thing that you are no longer accepting. What's that non-negotiable for you? Okay. And if you are done with the cycle of heartbreak and ready to truly attract the love you deserve, remember, if you're already going to my Instagram, in the bio is the link to the masterclass that I'm hosting this weekend, February 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going all into how to attract the love that you deserve and how to stop settling for less. Okay. So if this is your next step, if you're sitting there being like, ugh, where do I go from here? How do I heal? How do I navigate this? This is the masterclass for you. Okay. So this breakup, remember, that you're going through right now, it's not the end of your love story. It's the beginning of the one that you actually deserve. Okay. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on love. I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every week. Be fearless, be free, be unfuckwithable, right? Your future self is watching. Don't disappoint them.